Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Indie Reads Aloud. I am your host, Diana Catherine Penn, and we've had a small hiatus recently because I moved house, and you know how that gets, you guys. But we're back at it, and today we are bringing back a wonderful author. Her name is T.K. Cassidy, and she's going to be reading from book 2 in her series. The name of the book is Whoodah Hitchins, and it is book 2 in the Whoodah series. And the first book is Whoodah Thunket and the Girls, which is a hysterical, wonderful little mystery thing I think everybody should read. And I'm so excited to have you back. Thank you for making time for me, TK. I appreciate it.
I've been looking forward to this. Thank you for having me, Diana.
Me too. We had a good time the last time you
We
were on the
did.
program, and
We
so I'm
did.
I'm really looking forward to this. Now I'm super duper excited. I got to get this out of the way at the
Okay.
beginning of the program because if not, I just might explode. Your first book, Who'da Thunket and the Girls, is being turned into a feature-length film.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
I'm
so
so
excited.
excited for you. This is so great.
Something I
Um,
never dreamed of.
it's so exciting, and the revised title is going to be Who'da and the Girls. So
Yes.
everybody watch for that. It'll be coming out shortly. It's currently in development. Um, Wild Lily Productions is the
No, Wild
production.
Phillies.
Wild
Like
Philly
Phillies, yeah.
Productions is the company that is pulling all this wonderment together. And Michael Lembeck has been attached to the film as its director. So there's some really great projects this gentleman has done in the past. So I think you're in for a real treat when you get TK's imagination on the page and Lembeck's really wonderful directorial experience. I think we're going to have a really spectacular film.
I'm hoping so.
I'm so excited for you. This is like the best birthday present ever. That's very cool. So let's take a breath here for a second now that we've celebrated all the amazingness. Whoodah Hitchins is the book you're going to read from today, and this is book
Right.
2 in the
Correct.
series. Can you give us a little bit of background or synopsis or something you think we should know about this
Sure. Well,
series before we get into the reading?
in case you haven't read the first book, they are 70-year-old sisters who run out of money when they find out their dad left them a big debt, and they have to go back to what he taught them as children, which is cat burglary. So along the way, they have some pretty good misadventures, and they meet three gentlemen who help them. They don't rescue them, but they help them get out of the situations. And so in the second book, they've decided they should marry these three gentlemen. And they are going to have three full-blown weddings on one weekend. And the part that I'm
Okay,
going to read
that just
you,
sounds like a logistical nightmare.
it is, trust me on this.
And
Um,
hilarity ensues, right?
yep.
I
The part that I'm going to read to you is when they try to talk the ministers into doing the ceremonies, and that explains what the ceremonies will be and everything. Um,
I love this idea that you have created this wonderful cohort of um gentle women of a certain age who have
yes.
decided that they are going to become cat burglars. I think that's just it's so contrary to everything society tells us
I
about
know.
aging women,
I
and
know.
I love that you have run with this idea and played with it so well.
Well, with
It's
movies like 80 for Brady and a movie called Palms and Queen Bees, it just seems like it's the right time to kick off for doing these things.
well,
Older
and
ladies are not looked on as not being necessary anymore, I think.
well, we're not as frail as we used to be.
There we go.
You
That
know,
is fact.
we have a little bit more chutzpah, I think, than women of our age used to have.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I think it's fun that you're allowing these women to come out and play.
Well, the ladies are kind of very, very loosely based on three of my aunts, and they're in their 80s. One of them has passed away, but she lived a great life. And the other two, well, they just returned from Stonehenge, the real Stonehenge, a couple of weeks ago, and they still do biathlons. They still do bike riding, all sorts of stuff. So they are actually like that. They're like people, older ladies. They're what real older ladies are. They're not frail and fragile and sitting there rocking and knitting. And I just think they're most hysterical women I've ever met. So
That's
they're
fantastic.
loosely based on them.
I love that you have real life models to base these
Yeah,
characters on
yeah, they are my
because
heroes.
it makes them jump off the page more vibrantly.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think
The
it's
lady
really
who read the
lovely.
Audible book, the reason she took it to Hollywood was because she felt like she could see the people, the characters, and they reminded her of her aunts and mother. So I guess it did a good job.
It sounds like it. It's pretty cool. All right, I am really excited for you to read for us because when you read, I giggle and I really enjoy that. So
Okay.
I'm trying to find as many ways to giggle in my older years as I
Tell me
possibly
about
can.
it. Yep. After the week I've had, me too.
So this is Whoodah Hitchins, which is book 2 of the Whoodah series, written by T.K. Cassidy. And TK, when you are ready, please take the microphone and read aloud.
All righty, here we go. Okay, let me get this straight. The Reverend leaned back in his chair and looked around the table. On his left sat the country justice of the peace, an older man with a handlebar mustache he took great pride in. On his right sat the younger priest from the Catholic Church. Across the table, that was scattered with the remnants of pie and coffee for 6, sat 3 very expectant women. He steepled his fingers, put the tips under his chin. After a prolonged pause, he moved a small plate with a piece of half-eaten cherry pie out of the way, leaned forward, and placed his elbows on the table. If I understand this, you called us out here to talk about conducting marriage ceremonies. The women murmured a variety of agreement sounds from their side of the table. Reverend, Aggie started to explain. He raised a hand to stop Aggie from talking. Just give me a second. I don't know if my colleagues need more information, but I sure do. He gestured toward Nitty. All of these weddings are going to take place on one weekend, correct? With one finger, she pushed the copy of the invitation across the table to a position where all men could see the writing. Yes, mine is on Friday, Aggie on Saturday, and Poppet is on Sunday afternoon. He looked at Aggie. And each of you wants a distinctive marriage, so one ceremony is not possible, right? That's true, Reverend. We all have our own dreams, though we all believe the importance of a proper ceremony. He turned his gaze to Poppet. And you've tried to come to agreement on one ceremony without any luck? Poppet nudged a plate of her beloved Oreos toward the Reverend. That's right, Reverend. They just don't understand how important this is to me. You see, I was once a nun. Abruptly, the priest who had been listening intensely sat forward and cleared his throat. About that. I looked into your time as a member of the convent, Miss Poppet. 2 weeks, was it? Poppet nodded vigorously. It would have been longer, but once again the priest waved a hand in her direction. You're telling me you want to have a Catholic wedding, correct? Yes. The firmly stated word left no doubt of her intent. Tell me, Miss Poppet, are you a practicing Catholic? Did you ever actually convert? Well, no, but I watch Mass on TV every week and I read the Catholic Bible the priest heaved a heavy sigh and rubbed a hand across his face before stopping her again. Is your fiance a practicing Catholic? Well, no, but Poppet fairly bounced in her chair. I'm sure you would become one if I asked. Poppet tucked her chin and blushed, preened a little. He loves me, you know. Her face lit up. Yeah, I know. We could take the classes and the things and convert together. After all, we have time, a couple of months. And then we could have the conversion ceremony and then the wedding ceremony right here at the house at the same time. Poppet's grin stretched across her face. Her happiness glowed at her clever idea. The Poppet looked at the smiling face and wished he could answer differently. You want to convert to Catholicism in a couple of months? You want both ceremonies to be held in a non-church setting? And you want all the trappings of a Catholic wedding in your home? Poppet wiggled with joy like a pup wagging his tail. That's right. Shaking his head, the priest pushed back from the table. I'm sorry. As much as I would like to make you a happy woman, what you want is impossible. He stood and pushed his chair back under the table. It takes more than a few televised masses and a couple of months to become a member of the Catholic community. He stopped Poppet's response with a sharp look. Even if I agreed, we'd need special dispensation from my superiors, and that can take a very long time to go through all the channels. I cannot in good faith agree to this. He addressed the rest of the table. Thank you for the delicious pie, ladies. Gentlemen, I'm pleased to have had the opportunity to meet you. I'll see my way out. Poppet sobbed loudly and pulled a plate of cookies back to her side of the table. But I've always dreamed of a Catholic wedding. Aggie put her arms around the weeping sister's shoulders and pulled her in. Nitty stood and walked the priest to the door, thanking him for his time. When she returned to her seat, Poppet's blubbering had subsided to a mere sniffling. The Reverend reached across the table to pat Poppet's hand. Now, Miss Poppet, I'm sure we can do a ceremony that will do justice to your needs, even if it isn't actually a Catholic one. I'm sure God will bless your union as much as any religious ceremony. Poppet's head bobbed as she dabbed her eyes with the tissue Aggie had handed her. She reached out for the chocolate comfort, but Nitty beat her to the plate. With a glare, she pulled the treats away from her plump sister and returned her attention to the other two gentlemen. The mustachioed man cleared his throat. If I might ask another question or two. All eyes turned to him. Out of habit, he ran his hand over his mustache to smooth down the perfectly groomed long hairs. Miss Nitty, you're planning a Western-themed wedding, complete with a ceremony on horseback. Nitty nodded. I'm not as frou-frou and girly as my sisters. This fits my style more, and Frank, my fiancé, has agreed to the idea. The justice nodded. And the horses? Well, I have my own mare and a younger colt we've been working with. I'm sure they could be calm enough to get through standing as long as they need to. Frank isn't an experienced rider. He'll take my old Maggie, and I'll handle the colt. And as far as you, yes, the judge interjected. I can do that. You can be on foot if you want to, Nitty continued. We'll build a sort of a platform for you to stand on. The justice shifted and cleared his throat. Now, where's the fun in that? I'll trailer my own horse out here. Will all the other members be on horseback too? Nitty looked at her sisters. Poppet vigorously shook her head, and Aggie shrugged. No, we aren't. They aren't as natural as I am. They'll just be there to witness the event. Well, I do have a friend with a riding stable if you need a few extra horses. No, Poppet stated firmly. That's already been decided. I'm not doing the horsey thing. I'll be glad to be a grounded bridesmaid. Okay, I have just the suit to fit the part. He stood and extended a hand to Nitty. I'd be delighted to perform your ceremony. Nitty took his hand and thanked him. While the justice of the peace returned to his seat, Aggie looked at the Reverend. Well, I guess that just leaves you, sir. I guess so. I don't have a problem with any of the plans. He looked at Poppet, and I'd be delighted to do your nuptials as well, Miss Poppet, if you'll allow me. I'll do the best I can to make it a very formal affair, even if it's not Catholic. Thank you, Reverend. Aggie took Poppet's hand and squeezed. I'm sure you'll do a fine job. When the men had left, Aggie picked up a glass on the table in front of Poppet and shook the small bottle at her. I cannot believe you offered to top off the priest's tea. Aggie angrily dropped the little bottle on top of the plate and gathered up the rest of the dirty cups and saucers. Nitty laughed and smiled at Poppet. I can, you sneaky little thing. Where'd you get that bottle anyway? Aggie demanded when she returned with a damp cloth to wipe off the table. We never keep alcohol in this house. Nonchalantly, Poppet carried the cherry pie to the kitchen. She dipped her finger into the gooey center every few steps, thinking how good an Oreo dipped in the filling would taste. She smiled over her shoulder and said, From the plane. Remember when the stewardess offered us those cunning little bottles on the way to the daughter's house? I thought they were so cute. So I took a couple when she went by. You know, for a memento. Some memento? Tequila and rum? Nitty scoffed. Everyone knows that priests only drink scotch and wine. Don't you ever watch movies? Aggie mused. I thought they only drank vodka, because then people can't smell it. She gathered up the last pile of crumbs into her hand and returned to the kitchen. No matter, he was offended, I can tell. Poppet whined. I don't think so. I think he just noticed that you noticed. And besides, I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted him to know I'd do anything for his help. Well, it sure didn't do any good, Nitty interjected. Poppet sneered in Nitty's direction. Well, at least I didn't at least I didn't try to flirt with the old judge and sweet talk him into providing horses for your stinky wedding idea. Stinky? Nitty took offense at his sister's assessment. To some of us, there is no more wonderful smell than fresh hay, air after a rainstorm, and horse sweat. Some people just never learn to love the most natural things in life. Natural? Horsewife? Horse sweat? No wonder you spend so much time mucking out stalls. Papa pinched her nose with her fingers. I'll bet you love that smell too. Come on. Aggie plopped down in the chair and sighed. I'm just so tired of listening to you two bicker. We got what we needed. Nitty will have her outdoorsy horse-based wedding. Yes, and the Reverend will do a simple wedding for me. She looked at Poppet. And you crazy woman, will have a full-blown wedding with all the trappings. It won't be Catholic, but neither will you. Neither are you. Nitty pushed herself out of the chair and walked toward the front door. Maybe we'll get to stop listening to you whine about your lost career as a nun, as your lost career as a nun when you have a husband to distract you. She turned the knob on the door and went through the access. Ta-da! So now you know what's going to happen.
Fantastic. That's
Yep.
extraordinary. Super fun.
I have to tell you that the first time I got married on horseback. And it was decided in the middle of preparation for the ceremony. So there I was in a satin skirt and high heels on a regular Western saddle on a half-broken colt. And of course, she took off in the middle of the ceremony. So now you
Yes,
know what's going to happen to Nitty.
because a half-broken colt would do that. That's kind of
Of
what they
course.
do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I wouldn't have worn the heels. I just would have worn flat
Well,
boots. That's what I
I
would have done.
I would have worn jeans. And when you find
Yeah.
out what Nitty did, you'll understand why.
Oh, that's super fun. I
Yeah,
I love the very distinctive personalities you've given these women,
thank you.
and you have perfectly captured the idea of having sisters. What
I
it's
had
like to
one.
have sisters. I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a unique experience the way sisters interact and their banter back and forth, and you have absolutely captured that perfectly.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. They in the third book they get on a tour bus calling themselves the Grandcestors and go on a bucket list honeymoon all over the United States.
Okay,
And
that'll
I'm
be fun.
busily putting together number four, which I think I'm going to have 9-year-old triplet boys move in with them. That should be fun.
9-year-old triplets.
Boys, don't forget the boys part because they don't know
Well,
anything about boys.
well, for me, boys are easier than girls, but that's
I've
because I'm
heard
a boy.
that.
I'm a boy mom, so
Yeah, see, I
yeah.
never had sons. I had daughters, so I don't know that. I've heard that.
Well, the only thing I have to compare with is the experience of my own puberty,
Uh-huh.
and I would not wish that on anyone. And my son's puberty experience was infinitely easier, so I'll
Um,
take boys every day of the week.
I did have one lady when I was teaching. I had a lady who had a very, very smart young man, a son and a daughter. And she told me one time if she'd had the daughter first, her son wouldn't have had a chance to be alive. So I guess.
Yeah, well, I felt that way after my son. I said, okay, we're stopping here because
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it and get a girl next time. No. I don't know what to do with dresses and
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. I'm the
no.
same way.
Curling irons, just no.
Yeah.
So you're working on pulling together book 3 in
Book
its
three is
final
ready and it is
stages.
available.
Oh, it's available now.
Yes,
So
yes.
you can come back and read from book 3 for
I
me.
can do that if you'd like.
Yay! That would be fantastic. And then you're
Yeah.
working on book 4
Yes.
and working on the new film.
Yes. And I have a
Do you have
a mystery, a paranormal romance coming out next month.
So that was the next thing I was going to ask you is what else do you have in the fire? Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about the paranormal.
This is it's called The Mystique of the Raven Moon. And it's about a lady with Romani cultural, she's I hate to say the word gypsy because that's not
Right.
looked right, but that kind of from
It's
the
not the
Druidic
PC
Irish.
term, but yeah.
Yeah. She's kind of a Druidic Irish heritage. And
Okay.
she keeps dreaming, she keeps sending messages to the moon, trying to get her love to come to her. And at the same time, she has long black hair and gold gray silver eyes. And at the same time, on the other side of the country, there's a man who keeps dreaming about this raven with silver eyes that's in desperate need of his help. And he can't find her, but he knows he needs to find her. So it's a story, the two of them working together to find each other.
That sounds really cool. And you said it's releasing next month?
We're going to do our, what do you call those? Unveiling?
Book
Um,
launch?
Book launch. That's the one on the 29th of September. So hopefully
Fantastic.
it'll be up and running by that time.
Please, when you want, anytime
Okay.
you want, sign up to come back and read that too.
Okay, but I promise you there's not a giggle in the book.
No, it's okay. That's
Okay.
paranormals aren't supposed to be hysterical. It's
Thank
all
you.
right. It's all right.
So many people, oh,
I
my
love,
lawn person is here.
I love showcasing authors of diversity.
Yes,
So anybody who writes in different genres, I love having those authors on, just so that more attention is given to the diversity within the industry.
I got you. Yeah. Should
There's
I?
so many stories from so many different perspectives and touching on so many different plot lines and trope lines that I love. The more I can have, the better. So
So I should.
absolutely come back and read more and more and just keep coming back.
So I should tell you about the serial killer novel that's playing around in my mind that I'm going to release under a different name.
Oh, don't release it under a different name.
I
Release it under
might. I
your
might.
name.
I might. We'll talk. We'll talk. It's so
Yeah,
different.
that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that your career is going so well.
Thank you.
And I will please keep in touch with me so that we can let everybody in listener land know when the film will be released, so
Great.
that we
Thank you,
can all go
Diana.
to the theater and see it and celebrate.
Yay. Yay. Popcorn for everyone.
That's right. Not me, but everybody else.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna sit in the theater and eat M&Ms, but everybody else
Excellent.
can have popcorn.
Perfect.
Thanks again for coming on the program, TK. I'm so happy that you're writing and that your career is thriving and that you're doing well.
Thank you.
I'm really, really pleased. Have an awesome
Appreciate.
rest of your summer, and we'll
Great.
see you at the book launch.
Excellent. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.